Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Today's video is really special because it's going to be a podcast video, and you guys know that I haven't actually done a true podcast episode on this channel in quite a while, but it's kind of going back to the early days of the channel. If you look back to some of the earliest videos, I used to create a lot more videos on specific different areas of spirituality, on manifestation, on twin flames, soul connections. And now on the channel, we typically do just reading videos, which of course I absolutely love channeling into collective reading kind of energies and doing those videos as well. But it's still exciting to kind of get back to some of our roots here and dive into certain concepts, topics, and ideas that I feel may be really collectively relevant for us, especially here on this channel. So if you are new here, then welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. And in today's video, specifically, this is a video for divine feminines listening, because I know that the majority of people who tune in on this channel do resonate to some degree with divine feminine energy. Now, of course, whenever I talk about the divine feminine or divine masculine, I am referring to energy dynamics, and these don't necessarily correlate to particular genders. Also, we all have a balance internally of divine masculine and divine feminine energy, so do keep that in mind as well. But I'm speaking to those of you who tend to carry more of a dominant divine feminine energy internally, and especially for those of you who have been on some kind of a twin flame or divine counterpart journey where you've been connecting with, at some point on your spiritual journey, a divine masculine. Even in cases where you wouldn't consider this divine masculine to necessarily be your twin flame or to be your divine counterpart, maybe just another soul that you had this really deep, serious soul connection with, and that played an impactful role in your life. Really, the label here doesn't matter, and that's a whole separate video. A lot of what has been shifting collectively has been about helping us to release the need to understand our spiritual experiences through labels, but to kind of help us to unlabel them, if you will, to unravel them and shift through them, not through trying to consciously label, define, and understand every aspect of them, but by feeling, by getting back in touch with our emotions that always know the way, and allowing us to feel and process things on an emotional level without needing to necessarily intellectualize it. But again, that's probably a whole separate video. And in this particular podcast, we are really going to zero in on something very specific. We are going to be talking about the biggest lie that we get told as divine feminines about the divine masculine. Now, who tells us this lie? Well, first, it's told to us subconsciously. It's programmed into us by society. It's given to us, delivered to us through messaging on social media, on advertisements, through marketing campaigns. Businesses try to sell this idea to us. It's sometimes also programmed into us through specific socializations, like we might be socialized through a particular specific religious structure, or through a school system, or through a political system, or whatever the case may be. This lie tends to really be programmed into us subconsciously so deeply from such an early age as divine feminines that we don't even fully recognize that it's there. And then over time, as we are programmed with this lie, we pick it up and begin telling it to ourselves, maybe not even without realizing it. We might not even realize how we are lying to ourselves as we retell these stories and ideas. And it's so powerful when we begin to reevaluate this lie, because it quite literally not only transforms the way that we interact with masculine energy in our lives. And I'm not just talking romantically, I'm talking in the workplace, I'm talking about socializing, friendships, the way that we interact even with our internal masculine energy. Because of course, so much of finding our true balance in life is about learning to balance our internal masculine and feminine aspects. And so unpacking this lie helps us to do that much more easily. But the lie essentially is that if we sacrifice ourselves and pour more of ourselves into the divine masculine at the expense of the divine feminine, that we can awaken them, that we can heal them, that we can help them, that we can show them the way, even to the extent of feeling as though it is our very job or our very role on this planet to be this constant guiding light or savior for divine masculine energy, to the point of being a martyr at our own expense, sacrificing the divine feminine for the divine masculine, has been a very common theme that's been taking place collectively at many different levels. And it's one that, again, we learn internally and then play out individually. So what this lie does to us, and I would imagine that many of you who are divine feminines are very familiar with this. What happens is when we begin dating or romantically connecting in our lives, for one example, of course, this isn't limited to love and romance, but let's start with the example of love. When we start dating or romantically connecting, and we notice things about the masculine that we are connecting with that may be toxic, that may be lower vibrational, that may be representative of those less conscious states of being. It is our programmed tendency, because of this lie as divine feminines, to then overgive ourselves at our own expense in order to compensate for that gap. And in doing so, this lie tells us that somehow, if we just pour enough of ourselves into this other person, we can make them respect us, honor us, see our value, see our worth as the divine feminine. All the while, we are sacrificing, in a sense, the divine feminine in the connection by attempting to awaken or push the divine masculine into a more awakened state through our own self-sacrifice. Ultimately, what ends up happening is this leaves us feeling extremely drained, extremely broken, and entirely self-betrayed, because ultimately we realize that what the lie tells us will happen doesn't happen, that the divine masculine in that less awakened state of being doesn't take our over self-sacrifice and suddenly heal and awaken themselves, but there continues to be this kind of cycling through of almost like a codependent state where we're pouring more of ourselves into a person or a thing that is only increasingly taking more from us while remaining in this stagnant state of being. So again, no change occurs in the other person or in the situation, and we begin to feel almost as though we've failed, because once again, that lie has told us that maybe we just didn't put enough into that person, and that leads us to even greater states of burnout until finally we realize that this system isn't working. And that's because we begin to identify that we've bought into some kind of illusion here, that we've sold ourselves out internally, that we've sacrificed our own divine feminine nature in order to attempt to fill a role that was never ours to begin with, or to take on responsibility that was never ours to begin with. And the way that we rebalance ourselves as a divine feminine is to identify this lie, but it's not enough to consciously identify it, because the thing about this is, even as I share this information, many of you listening as divine feminines have been on this journey where we begin to realize more consciously that we are not helping or saving or fixing or awakening others through sacrificing or overgiving. However, even as we consciously make that correlation, the temptation to over self-sacrifice can still linger. This isn't something that originated in our own being. What we're feeling when we experience this temptation to overgive or people please or over self-sacrifice, whether it's with a specific divine masculine in our lives or from our past, or whether it's something much broader. This could be something we feel inclined to do in the workplace, in a family dynamic. This absolutely is not limited to romantic relationships. But when we feel ourselves tempted in this way, what you have to understand is to be so compassionate with yourself, even for feeling the pull back into these old patterns, because we here on the leading edge of awakened divine feminines who are becoming more highly conscious, we are quite literally shifting out old patterns, paradigms, and dynamics that are ancient. We are healing our ancestral line of past divine feminine energies who never had a chance to even taste in the smallest amount their true power, because they were so caught in this programmed system. We are, in a sense, healing them through us. The changes that we are making are not just happening at the mental level, they are literally changing us all the way down to the cellular level. And this integration process takes time, this integrating of an entirely new way of being and operating as divine feminines. Now, if we've identified the lie, it makes sense that we have to have a new system or a new equation to replace it with. And the new equation to replace this lie with is that the more that we relax, balance ourselves, focus on ourselves, step into our own receptive energy, the more we create and allow space for the masculine to rise up into the leader that they are meant to become, the more that we allow the space for them to heal and to grow and to expand spiritually and to awaken in their level of consciousness. But as long as we are suffocating that space in a way through our own overgiving, we are actually denying them the space to grow into who they are destined to be on a soul level in this life. So not only is that the case, but also the more that we allow ourselves to step back into that relaxed, receptive state of being, the more magnetic we become as the divine feminine, because the divine feminine energy is all about receptivity. It's about stepping into what artists refer to as that flow state, where we are one with the universe, where we are in that void/portal of creation, where we are tapping into this channeled energy that's allowing us to create in ease. This space, when we're in this space, we are not only magnetic for our own manifestations, but also we become highly magnetic to masculine energy as well, awakened, healed masculine energy, because we are embodying balance on our side. So things and people that are balanced in themselves are drawn to us via the law of attraction, which states that like attracts like. So when we balance ourselves, we attract more balanced people, things, and experiences into our lives. And not only that, but we actually hold the space for those people from our past who may have been less balanced to balance themselves out. Now, of course, this process is gradual and it can take time for us to see this, but something that you'll find is the more that you have the courage, and it truly does take courage to pour into yourself as a divine feminine, to throw off this old programming around self-sacrifice and to start nourishing yourself, even in small ways at first, to start loving yourself, caring for yourself, prioritizing your needs. The more that you do this, and again, it might even start small for you, and that's completely okay, because those small acts of self-kindness will build up a momentum, and you will begin to notice how people, things, situations, relationships react entirely differently to you. Now, there is so much more that we could say on this topic, and I imagine that we will in future podcast videos, but I feel this is a great introductory place to start kind of opening up this conversation. And if this is some kind of message that you've been integrating or working with as a divine feminine, I feel for many of you, I'm meeting you at a place on your journey where you've already been doing this kind of work. You've been on this pathway. So maybe for you, this was just a sign of confirmation from the universe that you're on the right track with your healing as a divine feminine. But regardless, I've created a tool to assist you along this journey. This is my Awakened Divine Feminine Subliminal, and it is so powerful for helping you to shift out all of these past programmed lower vibrational energies and to actually step into your full power as an awakened divine feminine. This will really help you to glow with beauty, to radiate effortlessly magnetic energy, not just for the things and manifestations you desire, but the connections and people that you desire to connect with romantically or socially as well. This will also help you to create from that flow state that we were describing that you really have the power to access as a divine feminine. So this subliminal comes from my app, Sound and Soulful, where I have over 130 subliminals for all areas of life. So there are subliminals for physical appearance changes, mood shifts, confidence, happiness, money, love, relationships, and so many other things as well. And when you sign up in the app, you get access to every subliminal I've created in 10 different background sound options. You can create your own custom private playlists, and you can even read the affirmations while you are listening. So the link to download the Sound and Soulful app and access this awakened divine feminine subliminal to really help you become magnetic for your desires and step into your true power. The link for that is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. And you can use the code YouTubeLove, all caps, for a limited time to get 10% off in the app. So again, all of that information is underneath this video. So, wow, big messages coming through in today's podcast. Do let me know if you enjoy the podcast style videos. Of course, I will continue doing the readings as well, but sometimes it feels like there are messages coming through that may be better suited to the podcast format. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if this is something that resonates for you in some way. Now, if you do want to enter our free tarot reading giveaway on the channel, you can still do so for a limited time for just the next couple days. Actually, the reading giveaway will close out on really the last day of November. I'll be drawing the winner December 1st. So you still have a couple days to enter if you're watching this video as of when I'm posting it. If you do want to enter the free tarot reading giveaway, all you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment underneath this video, letting me know where you've been at on your journey as a divine feminine. So anything you'd like to share with the community, anything you've been going through, something that connects here. Again, this is entirely free to enter. So if you want to enter the drawing, all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.